Finding a good man these days, I know you guys can feel like finding a leprechaun with a pot of gold. They are out there. I promise you the good ones are still around. And by the end of this video, there will be absolutely no confusion on what you really should be looking for. Not what we've been taught, not what we've been told, not what maybe our shadow self thinks a good masculine husband type is, but what a true marriage material man looks like. I'm so excited this found you because you are ready. He is waiting. And thank you so much for watching and subscribing. If you are new here, welcome. I am Christi Nicole, and I started Beauty Mundo to help you elevate your beauty and unleash your feminine power. Anyone returning? Hey guys, missed ya. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get ready with you guys and just spill the tea on everything that I went through to help you guys really nail down and solidify the signs of what makes a good man, but not just a good man, but someone who is marriage material, because that's why you're here. Like I said earlier, I believe that you are here because you're ready for it. You're ready for him. And I know he's out there looking for you. So, okay. 4 years ago today, I had my first date with my husband. I'm going to start with skincare first. This is Clinique's Moisture Surge. I got the little travel. Did a lot of traveling this summer. So 4 years ago today, we had our first date. I'm going to keep or reveal how we met until the very end. It's so crazy, you guys, how life just works. And I don't know if you guys have heard of the Wizard Liz and what she's been going through right now, breaking up with her fiance, and oh, just so sad. But a lot of times what we think, I bring that up because talking about a good man taking care of you, and she was talking about how, like, oh my God, she thought when they first met, it was like just so insane how much, like, oh, he was like a dream come true, what every girl wanted. But what I got worried when she described the things that he was doing, I said, oh no, ladies, no, that is not healthy, and that's not what we should look for. And so what I'm talking about is love bombing. And there's a real difference between someone being a gentleman, someone being so sweet and so thoughtful, and then love bombing, which of course we know is extremely unhealthy. But what does that really look like? Because when I met Hunter, he was so sweet, and I was just like, why are you doing these things? Like, why are you so nice? Because I had never met someone who truly respected women the way that he does and respected me that way. And it's so much more than just, yes, he shook my hand when we met, which was actually pretty strange at the time. It was right after the Big C, 2021, and nobody really shook hands anymore. So I was like, okay. And then yes, the typical, or I hate to say that this was not typical for me. I did not experience men opening doors and pulling out chairs and things like that. But I feel like that's somewhat of a more common kind of chivalrous, like your jaw's not gonna drop because a guy opens a door for you, right? So he did things like that on the first date, which I thought were sweet. But everything that he did that was really sweet, that I thought, oh my God, he's so kind, it was nothing to where it was so out of the ordinary, kind of like the things that Liz was saying, where, oh, he would like cancel his family plans and fly over wherever she lives in Europe, and he is American, her ex. And he would just, take these long flights and just show up out of nowhere and this, and that. And that actually worried me, because I want you guys to look for consistency. And I know we can think that, oh, okay, consistency, like, well, he does call me every day and he shows up to my house and things. I don't necessarily mean consistency with you. Well, yes, of course, that's important. Someone who keeps their word. If they make plans with you, they're gonna follow through. Of course, that's obvious that is something that's really important. But one thing that had stood out with Hunter is one day I was sick and he came, and we lived far from each other. We lived an hour away. And so he came and he brought me some soup, and just he bought all this stuff and went to Whole Foods. First time he had ever been to Whole Foods. And so he got me all this stuff and we hung out, and I wanted him to stay like through the night. And he said, no, I have plans with my friends to do XYZ, whatever. And I'm pretty sure they were going to church, and I was like, well, it's okay. Like, just who cares, and like trying to get him to stay. And he was like, no. And I was kind of like, oh, where some women, if you don't have the right mindset, you would think, well, I guess he just doesn't really like you and his friends are more important, and now you know where you stand. That's probably what I would have thought. Probably what I would have thought when I was younger. But instead, I saw that as, okay, wow, he, knows how to tell me no, which is healthy. You need that. You do not want someone who is a pushover and who's just going to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Because if you're looking for someone like that, I hate to break it to you, honey, you're in your masculine and that man is in his feminine. Okay? Hate to break it to you. But from the get-go, like even our first date, I realized this is not someone that I can play games with. Like, I just sensed it. And I think as women, if we are being honest with ourselves, and I mean completely honest, okay, we can sense if a guy is no good for us. The problem is we don't want to. That's the problem, is he's so cute and he's so tall and he's so fit and he's rich and he lives here and he drives this. He's a good kisser, whatever. Okay, whatever the case. We don't want to admit that that man is no good for us. But he had such a strong backbone. And the good thing is like you want to look for someone who's just committed in general, committed to their goals, committed to their dreams, committed to their friends, because then you can see, okay, this guy he shows commitment in a lot of areas. Someone who's just gonna drop everything to come hang out with you means he has no goals, he has no vision, he has no purpose. And that's part of love bombing, which we do not want. We want someone to spoil us and treat us well, but love bombing, honey, that's not it. It's not it. Because on our first date, he did something that was so sweet, that meant so much to me. And it's so funny because then later I found out like what that was really behind it. And I was like, wow, he hated that and he still did that. But going back and listening to your intuition, it's like you can tell, okay? You can tell when a guy is doing something to try and impress you, and then when he's doing it just because he's just good-natured. He's good-natured. So what are those signs that you want to look for someone who is just good-natured? Is when they are not just good to you. And that is what I noticed. I remember on one of our dates, there was this woman and something had happened, like she's there like with her baby, and something happened with the her stroller, and it was like tipping over or something, and she wasn't too far from us on the sidewalk, and he kind of like ran and like jumped to save the stroller, and I was just like, who is, and then he would constantly open up doors for other people, like not just, it wasn't even just women, it's like whoever was around, he would show that kindness and that respect for other people. And I was just like, where is this? And it wasn't, I could tell it wasn't even like a second thought for him. It wasn't even, again, going back to a woman's intuition, like I just felt and I knew that I was like, he is not trying to put one on, like this is not for show. Like we know as women, like you can definitely tell when men are doing something for show. And I'm like, this ain't it. Like, oh my God, he's just like genuinely, he's like a genuinely kind, considerate, respectful person. And so you need to watch for these signs and this characteristic of like, okay, he's not just good to me, he's not just respectful to me, but like of everyone around, especially when you get in a disagreement. Oh my God, I wish anyone in their 20s, I wish I had someone telling me this, because I don't know why when I was growing up, I mean, I watched too many movies, I guess, I don't know. And a lot of movies can be very, very distorted in a lot of ways. And so I just always thought like, oh, okay, in order to really be in love and find the person that you love, you gotta go through hell and back. Now, I believe, obviously now being married and taking that big step to commitment, which I was always afraid of because I held on to trauma from my parents' divorce. So I had actually always said that I never wanted to be married. I had never wanted to have children, and I was just letting my trauma speak. So don't do that. If I can encourage you to do anything, definitely work on your inner healing so that you're able to find the right person. But I was very traumatized, and so I did not think that I had wanted to be married. But when I would see movies and you see these things in Hollywood, you just think, you know, of course in the back of in my mind, in my deep heart, yes, that's what I wanted. But I guess I'd always assumed, you see so many shows and everything, and they just go through all of this. And like I said, yes, if you're with somebody for a very long time, you are gonna go through hardships. You're going to have to fight and put in that effort even when you don't feel like it. So I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about like, you know, this very toxic, just back and forth and thinking that everything has to be so hard. And so when I would get in fights with my other, you know, boyfriends and things like that, and guys that I was with, I thought it was always needed to be some big drama so that you have some, oh, well, this, you know what I mean? Like that big drama of like, oh, but now he has to like fight to win me back, and, you know, this, and that. And it's like, okay, no. How someone acts, you really need to pay attention to that respect factor, because when you first meet them and everything's all good, I mean, yeah, they're gonna act like, of course, when you're first meeting people, you're not meeting them, you're meeting the representative. Okay, let's be real. So you're meeting this person on their best behavior, but when you get in an argument, how respectful are they? Is that kindness and that sweetness just completely out the door? It's out the window? And these are things that I feel like as women, we just try to ignore. Oh, he just has a little temper. Girl, he punched a hole through your wall. He got blackout drunk and kicked your door down. Okay, oh my God. I remember something like that happened to me, and I locked the door, and this guy I was dating, and he broke, it was his house, so he broke his own door. And he was like, isn't that hot? I broke down the door. And I was like, no, that's not. Like, I'm angry. I needed space from you. You're not supposed to kick down a door. But like 18, 19-year-old me would have been like, oh my God, he broke down a door to get to me. No, no, no. We need to be looking for that respect, that kindness, that chivalry. Okay? Not some crazy toxic masculine and calling it romantic. Now, if you feel like the person that you are dating, or maybe the man that you want to date, has those characteristics, something I never really thought about. Also, you guys, this palette is my wedding palette. It's so hard to choose the shades. I just added the shade Tender in my crease. Tender. But I'm looking at the shades like, what's next? Because I want to add them all. And I literally just might. But if you're thinking, okay, this person has those things. Something that I had never thought about was safety and sensitivity. I think before Hunter, I had thought like, okay, this is the shade Fair. If a man is sensitive, like he's just gonna be no, like not for me. And what I realized though, because God is God and knew what person to put me with, that yes, I knew I was always sensitive, but I don't think I really realized that feeling safe around someone, and I don't just mean in the sense of, oh yeah, my man's tough, he can beat someone up, because Hunter does, or used to, he used to do MMA for years and jiu-jitsu and like all of that. So yes, he's a really good fighter. He's very tough. I feel safe with him definitely in that sense. But I mean safe as in, can you tell them your nightmares, your dreams, your hopes, your whatever, and they're not going to mock you. They're not going to tell you like, okay, you're like a little too emotional, just chill out. Because I've had guys tell me that. I can't remember what I was crying over. And the guy that I was dating, he's like, okay, like, I don't know if it was some like catastrophe or something. And he's like, okay, like, you don't even know those people. So Like, chill out. Like, it's fine. You don't need to cry. And this is Anastasia's old contour stick. Leave me a comment if you've tried the new ones, because I have not, because I still have this one. And I really like this shade. So he was, I remember that stuck with me because I was just like, oh my God. And Hunter is so sweet, and he matches my sensitivity, and he makes me feel so safe because I know I can cry to him about whatever. I remember when we were on a date, and again, I met him not too long after my dad had passed, and we were on a date, and the restaurant, if you are in the South, Cracker Barrel, so you know, they had their decorations up for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then it hit me, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm not gonna have my dad here for the holidays. And it took everything in me not to bawl just right there in the store. And I just turned to him and was like, can we please leave? So we left, and he takes me back to his house, and we sit on his bed, and I just cry in his shirt for I don't even know how long, like cry in his lap. And he was just, and continues to be so sensitive, and makes me feel so safe that I can be myself. I think that's like the biggest thing, is like, do you feel safe to be yourself, or do you feel like you are hiding things? Whether, like I said, it's your dreams, it's your fears, it's your ambitions, it's your whatever it is. Do you feel like this guy's gonna mock me? He's gonna make fun of me? He's not gonna support me? That is, it's such a, there's just like, I feel like so many things that we don't think about. Like, we're women, you know, we're just taught like, okay, make sure he's a good provider. And like, yeah, that he can take care of you financially. But especially now, as women, we are not possibly, in a lot of, there's a lot of relationships where women outrank their husband as far as financials go. And so you need to look for a man, because if you have big dreams, that should not stop the man from wanting to be with you. And that shouldn't stop you from wanting to pursue your dreams because, oh, he can't handle it. Because we need to look for men for more than just being financial providers. The way that I think about it is, I've always wanted someone who was really ambitious, because I knew that I had big dreams. And the way that I see it is, if one of you gets hurt somehow, something happens, and like one of you couldn't work, would you guys be able to sustain the life that you're living? And so that's what I always think. And I'm trying to get to, even like I tease them like, I'm gonna make more money than you one day. So I'm like trying to get to that level, because I'm like, okay, if something happens to my husband, I want to be able to take care of him financially too. So it really should be going, it really should be going both ways. Looking good. Now, kind of like what I was saying as far as feeling like safe and sensitive, is you really want to think about that as far as, who am I in terms of a relationship? Because who you show up as a business partner, who you show up as a friend, who you show up as a sister, brother, mother, whatever, could be very different than the person that is with a romantic partner. And so you really want to think about, like, does this person match my energy as far as like I was saying, like I'm very sensitive. So are you someone who really enjoys being alone most of the day? You are not a very PDA, super affectionate, that's only behind closed doors kind of a thing for you, then you need to think about that. Because if you're with somebody who like really likes PDA and wants to hug you and hold you and kiss you in public, and you are not comfortable with that, if maybe that's something you're like, okay, I want to work on that though. Like that's something I don't really like about myself. Like I want to open up more, then that's different. But if you're like just straight up like hard no, like just no, I like being a lot more private. I don't like being touched in public. It makes me feel uncomfortable, and that is just a very strong boundary for me. You need to look for someone who matches your sensitivity. I never thought about that. I just always thought like, yeah, go for a manly man and like go for someone tough, because as women, I think, yes, like we do look and want, it's her brow definer, I know it wasn't really focusing. We want someone who's going to be tough and protect us. But then at the same time, okay, is he like too tough for your needs? Like is he balanced, or is he just like tough guy all the time? Always like you're out and someone looks at you the wrong way and he goes crazy. Honey, that's not tough, that's aggressive. Okay? I'm just telling you, that's not tough. That is aggressive. That is not a knight in shining armor coming to, oh my god, that makes me think of the episode of Sex in the City when Charlotte was dating someone like that. But yeah, it's like, no, that's not tough. He's got some anger issues if he's like trying to fight somebody every time somebody looks at you, okay? And so you really need to figure out like how emotional am I? How sensitive am I? How lovey-dovey am I when I am in a relationship? Because I want that to be mirrored within me. Or again, maybe you're like, okay, I struggle with that, and so I need to learn how to be a little bit softer and learn how to be a little bit sweeter. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're a little bit too needy, and so you need to learn to have your own thing going on and know that like it's really healthy to it's really healthy to have someone that has their friends and their work that they love and the things that they are passionate about. I gotta go pick out an outfit. I hope this helped. I hope you have better clarity on what a real healthy masculine man looks like, the signs to look for, so that you can find your perfect match, because the good ones, they are still out there. It took me a while. It took me 34 years to find mine, but I know yours is out there. Just remember that consistency, when they're consistent, not just ditching everybody to be with you and that like fake icky love bombing. We don't want that. Are they kind and respectful to you and to others? Do they make you feel safe to be yourself? And really think about who you are in a relationship, a love relationship sense, so that you can really know, do they match my sensitivity? Do they match my type of energy as far as love goes? And I told you I would tell you guys at the end, we met on Bumble. I know. I did online dating probably on and off for like, I don't know, you guys, like 7, 8 years. A long time. Long time, okay? So don't give up. When it's the right time, you can meet them at the gas station, on an app. You just never know. But I love you guys. I'm gonna go pick out, I need to go pick out my outfit. So I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Mwah, toodaloo.